Can everybody hear me? Can somebody tell me they can hear me?
I can hear you. You're good.
Awesome. Well, welcome.
I can hear you.
Awesome. Well, welcome everybody. We are so excited to share with you tonight because this is a really important message, and I want to first introduce my peeps. So Katie and Jill, do you guys want to introduce yourself and share why you're here?
Yeah, I'll go ahead. So my name is Katie Slane. I was actually a burn trauma surgical ICU nurse for 13 years. I have since decided to stay at home with my now 5 little munchkins who are age 1 to 14. And yeah, I guess that's about it. I am just very inspired to help other moms figure out how to keep these kiddos healthy.
Awesome. Jill, tell us why you're on the call tonight.
Sure, thanks. I am Jill Ellis. I live in Iron Mountain, Michigan. I am a senior sales coordinator and a mom of 2 kiddos. And I just think this is a really important topic, the health of our kiddos, and that as moms, we're making the most of the health decisions with for our families with what we put in our grocery carts. And when we start to make changes, the others in our family just follow our lead.
Oh, very cool. And guys, my name's Angela Meyer. I'm from St. Louis, and I have a teenager now. So I'm at a different part in my motherhood life. But I truly feel that this is one battle. I know moms, we always say it, right? That's not a battle worth fighting because we are so overwhelmed with everything going on with our kids and our family. But this battle is one worth fighting for. After all that we've learned through the years, our kids' health and what we're doing with them now will follow them through the rest of their life. And so we are really, really passionate to make sure that not just keeping sick days at bay, but actually changing our kids' future is super, super important. So we're just going to kind of go right through here really quick and just share some of the things that are going on in motherhood for us right now. The first thing is that there is a lot of big trends going on with our kids, and they're not great trends. We've got a lot of kids with asthma. We've got a lot of kids with cancer, food allergies, heart disease, cognitive issues like ADD and ADHD, diabetes, which is actually type 2 and type 1 now, developmental disabilities, autism, epilepsy, and seizures, and also a lot of environmental issues are really the big play in all of this. And the ADD, the numbers have been increasing over the years to really big amounts, and they really don't have any really real causes for all of this. Our obesity is just getting really out of control, and it's actually affecting children as young as toddlerhood and even into infancy. And they're finding that these kids that start out in an obese type of category for themselves usually end up battling that for a long time. And it's going to cause our country and our families a lot of money. So we really want to make sure that our kids keep at a healthy weight and make sure that they are able to offset that chronic disease risk. And the other one is asthma. I don't know you guys, but I had one asthmatic friend in all of my days at school. And now I know that that is just a big deal. Right after recess, there's a lineup in the nurse's office for those inhalers. So these kids can get the rest of their school day. And another big, huge autoimmune disorder that seems to be increasing by numbers every year is autism. The spectrum goes from anything from Asperger's all the way up to very low functioning, quite severe autism. And, it's 5 times more common in boys, but 1 in 68 children now is the new stats for autistic children. And it's really a big problem. Dr. David Katz, who's the head of preventative medicine at Yale University, says that this is actually also going to be the first generation of children to have a shorter life expectancy than us. And that is definitely not okay, but it's definitely reversible. So that's why we're here tonight. And we're here because Jill and Katie and I really just want to impress upon you that our kids do not have to deal with these issues so significantly. And healthy lifestyle is super simple. And here are the core things to make sure that we make part of the foundation of our kids' lifestyle. Making one simple change that we'll talk about, eating more whole foods. I always say God didn't make Garden of Eden, didn't have boxes and bags. So we want to get back to the real food. We also want to make sure our kids get enough sleep, drink enough water, and get enough movement in their life. And Katie, you're going to talk about the first one with us, the sleep.
Hey guys, so one of the things that really spurs me on is that moms are the first line of defense with our family's health. And, you know, if you're a single dad and you play that role, that is absolutely important for you to hear too. But sleep in our family we are extremely possessive of our children's sleep with the screen time, even at school, even if you're not having a lot of screen time at home. Our kids are bombarded with, you know, just things that disrupt their sleep. So a big thing that we do is with our younger kids, and Angela's going to show a chart here in just a second, how much sleep, you know, your infant, your toddler, all the way through, you know, your older kids should be getting a night. But we start at 7 o'clock with our kiddos' bedtime, and it goes all the way up to, you know, 9 o'clock for our older kids. But we're very, I guess religious would be the right word for that, with our routine. And, you know, a lot of times that may mean having dinner early at the soccer game, because I know that, you know, here during soccer season, we're not going to be eating at 7 o'clock at night when we get home. Otherwise, our kids aren't going to get to bed till 9. The other thing that we do is just try to be a little bit possessive of our time. And sometimes that means, you know, saying no to some things. We are kind of unique in that we have an hour drive to school now this year. So I have been very much encouraging, you know, taking power naps to and from school anytime that we can. The other thing that we do is we try to keep our weekends as chill as possible and let the kids sleep in and catch up. I'm a big believer that, you know, we all know that we have events and stuff that we have to do through the week, and there are going to be late nights. That's just part of life. But I think just being aware and being mindful of that is a big, huge help with that. What's next? Are we moving on to water?
Yeah, if you want me to, I can go through that real quick.
Yep.
Okay,
so, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Katie. Go ahead.
So the next thing that we are very possessive of in our household is water. So sleep and water, guys, those are incredible. If you can get those two down, all of our kids, we have a rule that we started probably about a year ago. I just found that my kids were being just very resistant with getting their amount of water in. So I started a new rule with our kiddos, and that is that they have to drink their water bottle. We're huge fans of the Nalgene brand. You guys can look that up on Amazon. But we have 32 ounces for our older kids. And you see the little chart there on what's appropriate for their age and size. And then the little kids have the half sizes, which are great because it gives them ownership, and they know that they don't get breakfast. And then my toddler, he doesn't get to watch his Pete the Cat on PBS until he gets his, 12 or 16 ounces of water down. And we have just seen incredible just positivity with that. I've noticed that their sugar cravings have really gone down. I've also noticed that, he's not asking me. I feel like I could get an amen if you guys were unmuted, but the toddlers, especially the every hour, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. Really, I think a lot of times is they're thirsty, they're thirsty, they're thirsty. So that has just been a huge blessing that we have started with our kiddos. And then they do it again after lunch. So that's the rule in our house.
Awesome. Jill, you have some great tips too. How are you getting your kids to drink more water?
Sure. So we do the same. We start the day with water at breakfast. They each get a glass full. And then we send them to school with water bottles, and they just know that those water bottles need to be emptied at the end, by the end of the day. And if they're not, they're questioned like, okay, did you do a fill up at school? And we just kept going on finding a water bottle that just worked for each of them. And I kind of joked that our son's was $1 and our daughter's was a hydro flask that cost $40, but she's a 14-year-old, so a teenager, that uses her water bottle daily. And so we were completely fine with her her expensive water bottle, but it keeps it colder. She just preferred her water not getting warm. So we were willing to spend the extra money on that. The other thing that we teach them is to keep the urine clear. And so that just is like a sign to them that if it isn't, then they need to get more water in. We'd also noticed when our son was in elementary grades that he have to ask to use the bathroom at school if he wasn't drinking water. So that became, a bit of a problem that we had to work through. And so we're way past that. But that's just another tip to pay attention to, that in elementary, boy, he doesn't necessarily want to take time out of his day to go to the bathroom.
I'm just now remembering my daughter's in high school now, but when she was in elementary school, I actually had to do a fight with her teachers to allow water bottles in the classroom. So it's so important that our kids drink water every day. I don't know if you guys can see this chart, but every single organ function in our body requires hydration to work. And one of the big ones is our GI tract and our ability for our bowels to move. And I was just talking with a mom this weekend. That is a significant problem with our kids, and they need hydration in order to get the toxins and the waste out of their bodies. And that helps them with so many things. A lot of the problems our kids are having start in their tummies or in their guts. So we got to make sure that they have enough hydration so that they can stay healthy. The other really great lifestyle change that we make sure is play. I like to call it play. I used to be a personal trainer, and the requirements for children is to be playing at a moderate to vigorous intensity for at least 60 minutes a day, to be doing something active. And I know that, as for me, as a mother of a teenager, my daughter has never been very active, but a thing that has really inspired her lately is wanting to look good. And she wanted me to pay for a gym membership, but I know how teenagers think. And so I waited till my daughter could invest in that herself. And it's been really amazing to watch my daughter having paying for a gym membership. She now wants to go and she wants to move her body. And the lifestyle change has just been such a benefit to her. But that's how I've been able to get my teenager to get off of her phone and into her body and moving. Katie, what are you doing for your kids?
Well, my older two are in sports, so that's definitely a positive. We have a spin bike in our house, and I think that Chris and I do a pretty good job of kind of one-on-one running with them and or biking with them. We have a trampoline in our backyard. So one of my favorite things to do with my 3-year-old during the day is kind of like with the water. I say, Guy, you've got to jump on the trampoline while mommy does her 50 burpees. And that usually ends up being like half an hour of him jumping. So that's some of the things we do. I love the mommy kid workout things at this stage.
Awesome. What about you, Jill? You've got some great ideas too.
Sure. Our daughter is really into art and music and not so much the team sports. And one of the things that my husband and I had said is that you really need to be participating with something with school. And she plays the saxophone, and so she's joined the marching band. And it turns out that's a whole lot of exercise. They are practicing daily. And then also, doing things with her classmates. So that's our solution with that. Our son, Henry, does have cerebral palsy. However, I feel that fitness and that is important for him. So he gets to go to physical therapy every Wednesday morning at 7. And then we also have him in a karate program. And we do things at home with different stretches and exercises at home with him then also.
You also talked about, that was a different thing. But guys, there is a really cool website called healthylivingrevolution.com that Jill's going to talk about some more. But they have a really cool program on there with some really fun videos and stuff of kids being super active. So if you need some motivation for your kids, that is a really great site. I just wanted to point out here the movement, not just for kids, but for all people, so important. But there's mental health benefits, physical health benefits that we all obviously know about. But there's also brain health benefits, emotional health benefits, social skills and play skills. So being outside and moving their bodies is super, super important for our kids. So the last and most important thing in our healthy lifestyle 5-step program is the fact that our kids need to eat more real food. And that's probably the single most important thing we can do to affect our kids' health and their immune systems and keep them healthy this school year. And the key, based on every health organization, is that more fruits and vegetables. That's what the foundation of our diets and our children's diets need to be. And it's getting so important that they've decided now that poor nutrition is actually more harmful to our kids than all the other things that we worry about. And it's also the reason why none of us feel better. A lot of research has been done through multiple decades, and they're finding that if we eat on average about 10 servings of fruits and veggies every day, our whole family will feel better, our bodies will function better, and will stay well. And that looks like your serving size is your fist. So you can take everything from a tiny little baby all the way up to an adult and make a fist and see what that looks like in a measuring cup and multiply that by 10. Oh my gosh. I mean, I don't know, Katie, have you ever done this with your toddler? How many cups is that for like one of your little babies?
Well, I usually try to give them 1 or 2 servings per each of their meals. So I don't know. I need to measure it, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty cool. I've done toddlers usually are maybe 1/4 of a cup. So you multiply that by 10, and that's about, that's about 1 1/4 cups. And for a little bitty tummy like that, you can see how that's a lot of food. All the way up to a 5th grader is about 10 cups. So if you've got a late elementary school child or middle school child, they need on average around 10 cups of raw food. And then as they get into high school and they're getting full grown, that can be very different for every single kid that's out there. And it is so important for school. This is a really cool thing that happened in 2002 in Appleton, Wisconsin. There was a school that was an alternative school, and it was alternative because the kids had such poor grades, poor behavior, that they couldn't function in the normal schools. So this was a school that was set aside for kids with these issues. And a whole food company came in and completely revolutionized their cafeteria, took out all of the vending machines. And after these kids started eating whole food for not a very long time, their cognitive ability was higher, their grades got higher, their behavior improved significantly. There was a lot of violence in the school that started going away. So food really does affect our kids on many levels, not just their obvious health. But this is still what the schools are serving, and some schools are really trying, but this is what the kids are still picking. So this is a really good picture of what our school lunches look like. But us as moms can make a big difference. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but even just 40 grams of sugar can suppress our children's immune system by 50%. So if you think about what we have for breakfast, and then you have a snack, and then the kid has their lunch, and then they come home for a school snack, it's amazing how you can see that we are actually suppressing our children's immune systems every single day unintentionally. I mean, I'm a mom, and I know that I don't really want to do this on purpose, but 1 cup of cereal, like a sugary cereal or a Pop-Tart, and then 1 glass of orange juice is actually the amount of sugar that is going to suppress their immune system to this amount. So I know that Jill and Katie have some amazing ways that they make sure their kids get good nutrition during the school day. And so I'm going to take it from there. So Jill, what do you do for your kids to make sure that they have a healthy diet and stay well?
Sure. So earlier I mentioned that it really starts with our grocery carts and what we're deciding to put in. And when we made a decision to do better, we started with eliminating dyes and high fructose corn syrups. and that got rid of a whole lot of sugar. The other is for breakfast ideas, do what is called the complete the protein, and we put it in our oatmeal. Let's see some ideas. Well, Halloween is coming up, and we're going to do the take our trick-or-treating in that. However, what we do is he may have some sugar the first day. We prefer it in the form of chocolate and just get rid of the other things. And he will eat, they'll have some sugar the next couple days. It just kind of gets tucked away and gets brought back out for like ginger house decorating. So we're really not, we're not doing a ton of sweets, a ton of sugars.
And then you have another really good tip, right? With a chart that you found online.
Yes. Yep. Okay. So this is our lunchbox ideas on the healthylivingrevolution.com. That is a website that you would want to write down. There is a Start Strong Kids section, and in there is a lunchbox planning guide. And when we get to the school year, what we do is, I know that it's $25 a week for our kiddos to have hot lunch at school. So what I've done is printed out the lunchbox planning guide, and you can spend $25 in the grocery store, but I need some of each of these things that are in the lunchbox planning guide, and they have the different food groups. And then what happened is she began to know what was allowed in the lunch boxes, what wasn't allowed in the lunch boxes, and it's made that transition a whole lot easier. Also, there's also a snack guide in there, and that is also where you will find the Start Strong and the YouTube and the fitness for kids and all of that. So there's a whole section on the Start Strong Kids.
Awesome, Jill. Thanks. Katie, you've got some great ideas too.
Oh my gosh, this is something I'm so passionate about, guys. And Jill, I've never done that, but I'm gonna have to try that because that is super awesome. I love charts and papers. One of the things that I want to speak to is just kids' psychology. And I know if you're a parent, sometimes we get frustrated with our kids, but a lot of it is just they don't know what our expectations are. So what we did with our kids is that our kids have an expectation of what it is to go in their lunchbox. And one of those things is obviously the water. So they are required to take water in their lunchbox every day. Rarely do I ever let them have anything else, poor kids. But they do 1 protein and 1 fruit, bare minimum. So I have several different kinds of nuts, and I realize that, there could be nut allergies and stuff like that. So you'd have to replace that with something else. Quinoa is a great thing. You can add, I know that we had a picky eater. So I will puree like an onion and a pepper and put it in with my quinoa water. Quinoa is delicious. It's, a perfect protein. It can be eaten cold. It doesn't have to be microwaved even. It's very tasty. And they can put a little serving of that and then fresh fruit. And what we try to do is planning. A lot of it is planning on Sunday night. We try to have 3 to 5 fruits available in the house. That way they get free choice. So they take control over their lunchbox, but yet there's an expectation. So if they don't know what that expectation is, I just feel like we have found that there's a lot more positivity around it when they know what's expected of them. So they will go in the morning and they'll find whichever fruit they're feeling like for that day, and then they'll pick, cashews one day or peanuts another day. The other thing that we love in our house are the complete energy bites. And they love picking out the different flavors, making ones based in vanilla, ones based in chocolate. I think a lot of things, kids love variety. So just having those choices is just something that we really like to do and share and just kind of plan on Sunday afternoon. So that's my tips.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, you know, I think that it's so fun. I've tried to teach Zoe all of these things that you guys have done through the years, and now as she's a teenager, it's still holding true. And I just made it a point that my child wasn't going to eat in the school cafeteria. And we just have this little formula, kind of like you guys do. We have a clean protein, and we either have a fruit or vegetable. She always takes her water bottle. Yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. Those are the two things. That's what lunch equates to. Nuts as snacks. And then the fun thing is after school, she loves chocolate complete, and I have a friend whose kids call it their milkshake every day. It's just fruits and vegetables, but it's chocolate, and she mixes it with PB2 and a banana, and it tastes like a Reese's peanut butter cup, so she loves to have that. Or we can even take complete, make smoothies, and then freeze them in those freezer pop things that you can get, you know, where you can make your own popsicles. So we've really taken advantage of all the cool tools that we have. And Zoe has been able to, you know, to carry that through. Now she can make her own choices. And she's going to be going to college soon, and it's good to know that she really does know what is the formula for a good meal. For breakfast, it's really fun for us to be able to just have a clean protein and then some fruit, and it's always whole foods. So that's kind of where we've been this whole time. So anyway, going forward, the one thing that we do is we found out, all of us, is that getting 10 servings of fruits and veggies every day is virtually impossible. And I don't know how you guys feel, but when I first started learning all this, I got a lot of mommy guilt because I really can't, you know, I can't, won't, or don't. There's many reasons why people can't spend the time to do this. Maybe you do feed your kids out of the cafeteria and because you work, and I mean, it's all good. But this, I call it my removal of mommy guilt. I've been able to get 20 to 30 fruits and veggies in Zoe since she's 18 months old. And I know that this is a tool we all use, and it's called Juice Plus. And all it is fruits and veggies in a capsule or gummy. So our kids are getting 20 to 30 foods that are vine ripened, and then they're picked, you know, very, very clean. They wash them, they juice them, they dehydrate the fruits and veggies, and what's left is the nutrition from all these great fruits and vegetables. So regardless of whether we have a good mommy day or a bad mommy day, this helps us bridge the gap between what our kids are eating and what we know we want them to eat. And that Juice Plus Complete that Katie and Jill were talking about is this really cool whole food supplement that gives our kids all the protein that it needs, but it's all vegetables. And so our kids are getting a whole bunch of vegetables in these really yummy things. And you can make bars out of it, or energy bites, or drinks. There's like a whole cookbook that goes along with this, but this stuff makes some really good things. And our kids love it. And it's very inexpensive too. We can get 2 people to get all of this nutrition for less than a cup of coffee every day, which is really awesome. The other thing that I liked about it as a mom is the research. Juice Plus has had over 20 years of research on it, and you can see all the benefits on the side. And one of the big ones is it keeps our immune system functioning well. And that is super important for all of us as we try and keep our kids healthy through this school year. And this is just like I told you how it's made. We use very clean fruits and vegetables, and farmers who have to grow them at our specifications. So we know from the ground to your table, it is a completely clean, whole food product that we love so much. But the cool thing is guess what? It's a part of our Healthy Starts for Family program. This is all of the things we talked about tonight, how we try and keep our family healthy. But the cool thing is kids get Juice Plus for free. So we've all enjoyed being able to get this nutrition for our kids for free. And when our kids eat these gummies or take these capsules for a year, these are the benefits that we find. So, I mean, you've got 60% less days of school missed, taking less over-the-counter medication, going to the doctor less, and even the adults are having these benefits too. The kids are eating more fruits and vegetables, all the things we want as a mom. So this is pretty much the big one simple change that really makes a difference for our kids' health. So what I'd love to do last but not least is to just share with you for a very brief moment what's happened for our families is we've added this one simple change into our diets. For my family, my daughter's been on Juice Plus now since she was 18 months old, and she's 16. She was a baby with a suppressed immune system on her way to asthma. And within 6 months of adding these gummies, that all turned around. And I have a really healthy teenager who is an aspiring vocal performance girl who wants to sing opera, which never would have been able to happen. And so I'm super excited that she's getting this nutrition every day. Katie, what has happened for you guys really quick?
So the main thing that has happened to us is our pediatrician called us when we lived in St. Louis and asked us if we had switched pediatricians because we were not going to the doctor anymore. And I don't know about you guys, but that is huge, guys. Not living in the pediatrician's office from one cold to the next, especially during this season, is just like giving your kids the best gift ever. My husband and I have experienced extremely better health and better vitality in our 30s than we ever had in our 20s, which is also a gift in itself. So it's definitely blessed our family immensely.
Awesome. And Jill, I know you've got a lot to share too. What's your story super quick?
Sure, right. So, yeah, with the family health study, not only could my husband and I get started, but our kiddos could too. And at that time, I was using cookbooks that, snuck healthy foods into my children. And that's exactly what this is it's just an easy way to sneak foods into our kiddos. They have not been on antibiotics for the last 4 years since we started. They just rarely get sick. If they get a little sniffle, we do a double up, what we call, let's just double up. And our son is no longer constipated, which there are a whole lot of kiddos that are constipated. We are internally grateful for that. And then our daughter was a picky eater. And now that she's just getting in fruits and vegetables in an easy way, she's our little foodie and is willing to try all sorts of food. So that is our faith, and also eternally grateful.
I know, right? Well, thanks, ladies. I mean, these two moms are like super moms to me, and I am really, really excited to get to share with them, with all of you tonight. What I do want to encourage you all is that you definitely talk to the person who invited you tonight and ask them more about this family health study, because it is a game changer. And I hope that all of our tips and tricks have helped you come up with some great new ideas for your kids this year. So thank you so much. I don't know if there's any Q&A or if we have time, but we're done. And Katie and Jill, thanks. You guys are awesome.
Ladies, this was awesome. Oh my goodness, so much great information, the practical tips, the tools, learning to flood your body with fruits and vegetables every day. Oh my goodness, what a gift that is. So we are so grateful for you putting this together for all of us. And are you willing to say if people do have questions?
Sure.
Okay, so